Foglifter has recolored the definition of support and community. And our community, how could this collection have come without Damani, who was with me for every celebration and rejection? And I mean it. Like, I would be calling at 3 a.m. and be like, I got rejected. Albert, Jesse, Jessica, who've seen me through all my cringe eras. Karina, Jayla, Teresa, who have loved gently yet unyielding. Lara, dear duo, Shivani, blood of my blood. Bay Poets Unite, EcoTheo, Cave Canem, and so many more. I disappear at least once a year, and without these people, I would never return. Lastly, many thanks to my family, my precious treasure, Bafe, who loves with open palms, Patrick, who carries the world but finds time to enjoy a good anime, Grego, who taught me my first art, to my parents who knew when to run and when to stay. This collection is for and because of you all. You turn my wandering life into a journey. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Is that all your gospel poet? If y'all are ready to celebrate this book release, I need y'all to make some noise! What's up, y'all? My name is Gabriel Cortez. I'm going to be your host for this awesome event that's going on today. We are celebrating the work of our dear friend Cianga and the release of their Start A Riot Chapbook Prize winning collection, Congo from the Heavens. Make some noise! Yes. And while we're showing love in this space, can we give a round of applause to the folks that are producing this thing? Clap it up for Foglifter, y'all. Also make some noise for the African American Arts and Culture Complex, especially William in the back. Oh, he's holding us down. Yeah. Clap it up for DJ TT, holding it down. Yeah. And now, since the lights are down, the mood is set. I want to know a little bit about the folks that are chilling in this awesome audience right here. So, by a show of noise, did anybody here maybe attend a protest in the last month? By a show of noise, did anybody get dressed up for this event tonight? I need brother wearing the suit to really make some noise. You came in fly, bro. Clap it up in the suit, y'all. By a show of noise, are there any poets in this space? Okay, let's see if we really got it. Make some noise if you've ever been in a team with Cianga. And yes, y'all, clap it up for yourselves making it tonight, through the rain, through the fog, through the commute. Clap it up for y'all. So how this event is going to work. We got 3 featured artists that are going to be doing about 10 minutes each, and I'm so excited for y'all to get to experience them. They're some of the dopest poets in my life, in the world, in the universe, and they're going to get to fill this space with so much love. And then we're going to get to hear from the reason we are here gathered today. We're going to get to hear from Cianga for a 30-minute feature set. That's where we pop in. Some logistics, the restrooms are right outside over that way. You might have seen it in the beautiful cafe area over there. Also, I believe that there are Q&A cards that might have been available for folks before the show. Zamani, are they chilling right by the front, or folks already got handed out?
Yeah, handed out.
Nice, thank you. Yo, can we clap for Zamani? Okay, and Natasha, and all the people, all the hands it took. While on the bridge, they were saying, "No, we're crushing it here. We're chopping up the Q&A cards on the way here, so make them count, y'all." Get your questions ready, and it's going to be part of Cianga's set too. So make sure that you got those questions in. Audience, you have a responsibility. Do y'all know what it is? You gotta show love. You gotta show love. How do we show love in this space? When somebody's going in on the mic, how do y'all respond?
Yes.
All of that. Can we practice with a round of applause real quick? Let's do a round of applause. together on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Yes, you can do that right in the middle of someone's poem. Like, I feel you trying to keep answer that question. Can we do, what's that sound you make when you have like your favorite bite of your favorite food? Because sometimes the poetry feeds us like that. Can we do a collective on 3? Ready? 1, 2, 3. You sound sexy in there, okay? And it's just because it's in the dark. So I'll say this is popping, y'all. And if you're next level, you can do the snap and at the same time. Can we try that together on 3? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Yeah. All the noise. We want all the noise. Are y'all ready for our first poet? Before I say, oh yeah? Oh yeah! I'm so excited to introduce them to y'all. So, we're going to be hearing from the poets in this order. We're going to be hearing from Aaliyah Bradshaw. Then we're going to hear Zamani Thomas and Laura Shaw. And then we're going to hear from Cianga. So, as a way of introductions, I got some bios to read, y'all. So, let me first begin with Aaliyah's. Then we're going to hear their poems. So, Aaliyah Bradshaw, known performatively as Knife, is a 27-year-old performing artist, a writer, and educator with a passion for poetry and hip-hop as tools for liberation and creative expression. They were born and raised in Aurora, Colorado, by 2 Trinidadian American immigrant parents and a community of poets and activists who inspired creativity in both their work and their conscious imagining of a new world. They now live in Oakland, California, where they work as a performing artist and educator at Youth Speaks while managing their own small business and collective music project called Close Good. Make some noise for Aaliyah Bradshaw!
The poet's job is to witch. The poet knows the world is birthed again every day, and thus there is a candle to blow out somewhere. The poet sees fire and knows power. The poet sees fire and knows ceremonial burning. The poet sees a stone and wonders what it has to say about where it came from. The poet knows even rocks carry stories the way mouths do, like mouth of river, same word. The poet sees sameness. The poet sees a river and wonders what it has to say about where it came from too. The poet knows everything has an origin story and tells it in the way that it talks, in the way that it is, in the way that it be. The poet knows the difference. The poet sees difference. The poet breaks language to point at the difference. The poet grabs at the gap between words like it's an undiscovered space to love. The poet seeks and always finds what they look for. The poet defines buried treasure by the fact that they are digging. The poet knows the dirt itself is gold. The poet knows the worms themselves are mages, turning carcasses to riches in the soil, and the poet eats in the same way. The poet slithers through the world, carving an exact path the shape of its narrative. Come, step into this print of me, plant something, and know that it is protected by the warmth of my wishing.
Wow.
Thank you. Guys, I'm so excited and happy to be here. Thank you so much, Cianga. This is like the biggest honor in the world. I'm literally the biggest fan.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be like literally holding back tears the whole night. But I got a couple poems for y'all, so thank you so much in advance. This next poem is called The Look. If beauty is in the eye of the beholder, I am asking America to look away from me. Avert the gaze. Let the pupil swallow the white of your own eye, looking for the light in me and never find it. Stumble around colorblind in this vast space, arms outstretched to feel up the dark, but never quite grasp it, because I am black as the space between your fingers. I will always slip through. I settle into anywhere I fit, the pitch black pit of the stomach, back of throats, black hole, eater of imagination, spat back out again. To see me is to know my power. So look away. Misunderstand me into a mortal if it means you treat me less like you treat your gods, like a shallow love above a deep, deep fear, like struggle validator, make it worth it, farm my faith from this barren land. Treat me like you treat the sun. Disbelieve me from your universe altogether and watch the orbit tip. Treat me like I could birth a body from dust and burn it back to ash whenever I'm good and ready. Blame this turning on me if it gives you your name. If it can kickstart that old system of weeks and days given to an industry, if beauty itself can be bought, can be auctioned, can be sold, then I know that there are other things to be. In fact, ugly me back into a person. Bite off my acrylics so that I can fight. When I am 7 and I sweat out my silk press playing a made-up game, say my words are an unreal language. Say my words are baby babble on playground. And when I'm 17 and I'm in a prom dress made from scrap fabric that my mom and I fastened together last night, when I remove my shoes, when I unglue my lash so I can dance better, unsee me if you can't see the sweet in my sweat.
Come on.
If the roots unraveling makes me an ingrown flower, then let me live here in this brown dirt.
Wow.
If I am a blood stain and not a pattern dye, then wash me from your hands.
Wow.
If the seat is not for me, shorten the table.
Wow.
Is it still a feast if there is no one begging? Uninvite me to the party and maybe you will notice it is a grease fire. If beauty is in the eye, then what is in my mouth? What is in my chest digging its way out? Ask a better question. The answer still might be beautiful. Like, what is the sky? And you say, beautiful. What is a body? And you say, beautiful. What is ugly but a collection of beautiful things that I cannot see?
Wow.
And how elusive of them. How playful. To forsake vulnerability, to forsake visibility, and still come out alive. How grandiose to deny this tiny organ all its sugar. What feat of athleticism, what display of humanity defined through resistance. How easy to be worthy of your own existence. How easy to be pretty to a face looking down at you. But ask a better question. Whose face? This next poem is called Unhinged. Unhinged, like, the door of me should be shut, huh? Like, it should hold back at least something. Like, open girls get robbed of everything but the walls. Open houses get staged to sell. Still life image of prop fruit on the counter and fresh baked cookie smell. None of this furniture will stay after signing because it's just an idea. It's just a suggestion. The two words sitting next to each other like twins despite not having the same mother. Idea and suggestion. My best meals were eaten in a hole in the wall, which is an epitaph for a treasure trove and a mouse house at the same time. Secret gem in an inelegant chest. Chest, a word to mean an unreal residence. A place for false holding until someone can get their hands on it. Space in torso, quiet as the night behind the door of day, open with the turning of a planet clockwise and time silly. What if I am the door to the outside and not the in? The outside and not the in. The two words sitting opposite each other despite having the same father. My body is just wood and drywall between them. My body is just plumbing and electricity and insulation to sledgehammer through. God forbid I open so easy with the turning of a knob and a push. I'm unhinged like the jaw of a snake. Like open mouths get filled and told to starve in the same breath.
Wow.
Open mouths close again once the consummation is all done. The worst meals I had were the ones that I swallowed whole. The best girls are ideas and suggestions. The best girls are for tasting and there is no full. The seams can't burst if there are no seams. Nothing comes together enough to be named. It's all just out. It's all just open. It's all just here.
Wow.
And one more for you.
Yay!
This poem is for the hair store. For black girls with tight curls and rappers often named play instead of profit. This poem is for wave caps, for do-rags, for plastic bags turned into something else entirely. I petition you all this amen. This ashe that I have written into my own flesh. I call you to offer up your self-hatred, offer up your doubts, offer up your expectations as sacrifices to the white gods you were taught to pray to. Place your hot combs on this new altar. Let them be burned for once as simile for your skin. Let this scent be the sweet that swells in our throats. Let us slip shea butter secrets between our oiled hands and giggle, laugh even at how our smiles still have teeth. And I mean, how dare the comb think it have authority here? Think that it could tussle with all of this thick and return home without gaps in its gums. Like it never rivaled this happy or be a worthy opponent of the weights of all this heavy. How dare the towel think that it could soak up all my stubborn water like my crown ain't an ocean, making the burn cool? Go ahead and act like my work, like my sweat don't make heat itself unravel. Don't stare straight, make space shiver at all this anti-gravity, all this teeth grit testament to the soil I toil till my 2 puffs look more like 10 commandments on 2 tablets. So what blasphemy, what act against fate itself for the curious finger to wander through these woods like my hair ain't the leaves screaming, ain't the hungriest dirt, ain't the fallow ground standing at attention, the kind of unwavering that patriotism wishes it could be, the kind of upright wrong wishes it was. Like America don't hate this brand of pride, don't choke on all this righteous, don't tiptoe around my sanctuary like they scared to wake up the holy in my hands, like God forbid the way I gather, the way I hold steady with no rubber band at the end of my braid, the way I pray to the darkest thing I can find inside myself and outside myself, the way I sing silk songs to my scalp to help it sleep at night. Let us be loud lullabies. Let us be children put to sleep with dark black noise. Let us be volume and floor between our mother's knees. Let us be line up at the kitchen table, fade in the bathtub, hard line cut like the muscles in our back, but blended soft, like our history whispered in the held down ear, flat iron proof, heat protected from the way this world wants to burn us. When I last brushed my mother's hair, and I folded in the shea butter, the castor oil, the creams, the mousses, the milk, I watched her bargain a pinch of salt out of her eyes, and I thought, what a family recipe. What an ancient hymn. What God has ever tasted so sweet. Thank you.
You heard the poet say, I petitioned you all this amen. If you heard the poet say amen.
Amen.
You know, I need y'all to know how not regular this is for poetry reading. Like, this is popping. So, like, thank you. I'm so glad that we're in this space together. Also, we're not the only ones that are doing this, actually. Everyone say hi, YouTube.
Hi, YouTube.
Our brother William in the back got it streaming on the internet. Shouts out to the African American Arts and Culture and Complex YouTube channel. So that's beautiful. For my people that are in here in person, though, everybody, y'all see these little surveys that are showing on the chairs? Yeah? You're like, how do I fill this out without a pen? Well, I'm glad you asked. Everyone say hi, Laurel.
Hi, Laurel.
So Laurel has a bag of pens that is motioning throughout the space. You can grab one and make sure to fill that thing in by the end of our time together. We don't got to fill it in right now, but before we bounce, make sure to fill it out because it's going to be really helpful for Paul. How can we make more of these things happen? And get that money. You know, like, and we love grant money. You know, naming the impacts. Hey, so we can put more homies on and more poetry collections published and celebrating like this one. Are y'all ready for the next poet? Say yeah. Yeah. Y'all ready for the next poet? Say oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm ready too. This next poet, his name is Damani Thomas. Pronouns he, they. They are a writer and aspiring filmmaker from Oakland, California. Some of his favorite poetry moments come from writing group pieces with Cianga on the 2017 and 2018 Cal Slam. Team Cal Slam. They have received fellowships from Penn America, UC Berkeley's Art and Research Center, the Watering Hole, Foglifter, and others. Damani's debut chapbook, Grown Up Elementary, was published earlier this year through Nomadic Press, now available through Black Lawrence Press. Outside of poetry, catch them studying horror movies, it's true, dancing, it's true, and eating too many fries, probably true. So learn more, visit www.damanithomas.com. We're going to clap it up for the poet.
I didn't realize how funny my bio sounded. It sounded like neighbor. So I also have a few poems for y'all. And Grandma knows the news before the news does. Round-the-clock updates on Katrina. We had storm water in our hearts. And I'm not sure what to say to a hurricane destroying a place where I learned to pop fireworks between my fingertips. Don't tell me of flood water or water levels waist high. Don't tell me of hurricane winds blowing roofs away. Like no matter the safe haven we make of this wreckage, it can never be home. Don't tell me about Kanye. Don't tell me how George Bush hates black people, I know. Tell me about the policy that says so. Tell me how the wind was named after a black girl and how the rest of the world said we did it to ourselves. News reports say that black folk were abandoned and left on rooftops more than anyone else. News reports say about 30,000 evacuees made a shelter out of a football stadium. I wonder what game the government thought we would play. History is boring the way it presents tragedy. Bad thing happens, people suffer and grieve. I want to imagine something new. I want to think of this disaster as reverse gentrification, meaning we are given everything and none is taken away. Maybe all the water is for an amusement park. Maybe the levees broke on opening night and all that washed away ended up somewhere with music and dancing and fireworks. Maybe all who were left on rooftops were there for a concert. And it was such a big block party that seating ran out. Maybe the world misunderstood. I'd like to imagine something new, but there are those who went missing and we still don't know where they are. Maybe the poem can be a special place regardless. One in which all our dead say their own names and a search party pulls them out breathing and alive. Tell me how magic. Tell me how incredible. Tell me how rebellious that would be for people left to die to discover they live regardless.
Wow.
If this is true, then I want to write a poem in which Stephen, the boy who lived down the street, who taught me to pop fireworks between my fingertips, who taught me all the cheat codes to Grand Theft Auto, a poem in which he stays home and the water never gets him. This next poem is called Black Morse. If you are hearing this, I have lost myself. The same way prisons suicide unknowingly, or the same way police reproduce like cockroaches. At this rate, I believe the only things left after the world ends will be borders, a violence so indigenous we'll forget what its name was, and a people whose job requires calling things objects instead of what they actually are. But I have a selfish request. I need you to find me. Do not conjure what the waters washed away. Find me in Louisiana blues. Find me in my Mardi Gras best. Find me on MacArthur or East 14th or Bancroft intersection whenever the sideshow smoke towers. Find me in the one time Stephen threatened to feed me a dead mosquito. Find me. Promise you'll look for me in Piccadilly and Red Beans. Find me waving a white flag after another politician promises another policy named after another policy of war. Find me well-versed in contradiction. Find my joys and give them back. My mango Jumex, my dollar Arizona, my late-night car ride, shower time link of a sad pop song, microaggression side-eye, the way black folks know nothing if you buck before the beat drops. That high-pitched scream before that full-gut laugh, my grandmother's pork and beans, my mother's Cinnabons, my grandmother's black-eyed peas, my grandmother, my mother, give them back. My body may decay, but I promise my spirit will kill whoever did this. This year we want to build more housing than we destroy. And by destroy, we mean to let rot or decay. This year we want every documentary about us to be about us. in all of our complicated glory. And by glory, we mean there are chalk outlines and red lines, but there are also after-school programs and activists and flowers and youth poet laureates trying to bring the dead back. We want all our dead back. Inside every pine box, you will find roses, packed and shipped for delivery. We want the old E40 back, like 4040, like 0640, Hebrews on scrapers 40. When you got the whole city going dumb, it's hard to gentrify a song. We once stopped the buses and took over freeways, shut down entire intersections, dare a government to stop us. We want that back. The gall of the city to refuse aging. We want all the blacks in downtown Oakland back. We want a new city for everyone murdered at work. The annexation of bloody Oakland means we split at the police station. We want memorials that matter. We want more than graffiti for the mother. A settlement is just a way to avoid saying sorry. We want all the property value because we know what happens when things decline and the city stops caring about us. We want the hospitals back. We want a Warriors ticket, mint, coupon, Gucci bag left on every pillow. Legalize the bar dancer. Legalize the sex worker. Legalize the black kids. Legalize fighting back against a gun or a bomb or a state that funds the guns and bombs. Legalize the single parent, the mom and pop shop, the skate park, the after-school program, the black kid, the black girls playing double dutch in summer. Legalize not paying your rent until your landlord fixes the water. Give us what we ask for or leave us the fuck alone. If every year is a year of growth, then let this be the year we bloom. Let us grow back everything that was stolen from us on the way here. With a list of intentions, an audience, a church, let us all say, Amen. Amen.
I need y'all to give it up for those guys with the mic. That's right. We are out here speaking joy in the face of disaster and neglect and ongoing colonial violence. We remember, as Ross Gay said, the joy is not the absence of grief. Thank you, poet, for helping us remember what we're fighting for. Clap it up again for the How you doing back there, DJ ZZ? You rocking? We good? Clap it up again for our DJ. Yes. We got one more poet, a feature poet, before we get to the main event. So that means we got a couple more opportunities to show love. Audience, are y'all ready for that? Yeah. The humble bio that I get to read right now. But look this full up because they're tight. Laurel Chen is a prison abolitionist and a migrant writer from Taiwan. They take so much pride in being one of Cianga's teammates on the 2018 Cal Slam Poetry Slam team, a fellow of Kundiman, Andaki Poets, the Poetry Incubator, and Pink Door. They currently live in the San Francisco Bay Area. Make some noise for Laurel Chen!
Yeah.
Love you.
Woo!
Can y'all repeat after me? From the river to the sea.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
From the river to the sea.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
First of all, thank you so much, Cianga, for inviting me. This is like the dream lineup that I'll probably ever be a part of. I love each and every poet in this lineup, from host to feature to everyone, so dearly so much. So this means a lot to me to be here. And I'm going to actually start off my set with not a poem by myself, but by a dear friend, comrade, also Cal Slam poet, Summer Bata, who is a Palestinian. So this poem, is The Moon is Pro-Palestine by Summer Bata. 2019, Israel sends a space probe to the moon. It explodes on impact. Born of holy space, she is sister to stone, knows each smooth defense littering occupied ground, holy ground. She whispers stories of how we built our homes, laying stone gentle atop one another, dabke hard on soil, sending stories of how children seize if stones too float in the Dead Sea.
Wow.
Israel sends a space probe to the moon and it explodes on impact. Listen, the moon is pro-Palestine. Moon remembers when she was part of the earth, remembers when land was won, craters filled with water waiting to be named holy, a people knowing what it always was, tending to orchards with twisted roots older than sea level, some prayers tucked into breakfasts of bread and cheese, throats uneroded, calling on our daughters, Ya Amar, Ya Amar, Ya Bana Al-Amar, asking of us beauty, strength. Holy Earth sends stories of children gripping rocks so hard their lifelines become granite rings. Children scratching at empire, criminalized. What is a blemish to empire? Man-made death machines plummet into the surface of the moon, scratch for conquest. Oh, holy ground, those who separated us will not be forgiven. There is no blemish to her light. In eulogy of the children who have joined the stars, she fights back. Yeah, let me get a little more comfortable here. 1 second. I feel like I was telling Tasha in the audience earlier that I saw someone on like Twitter or anything say like, oh yeah, like I like saw like poets like sit on stage once like in like chairs and stools and like life changing because like I feel it and it's my first time doing a set like while seated and it's actually very lovely, so highly recommend. I do want to say a little bit about Cianga. I feel like I have known them since my hair was so short, so it's been a long time. I feel like they are one of the poets who I always think of when I think of writing not just against empire and the conditions that we may be living under, but also into a future that we're trying to build. There's no one else whose work carries the same amount of care, precision, imagination, I think, than their words. So y'all are in for a treat tonight. Okay, how many of y'all have seen the movie Princess Mononoke? Yeah, cool. This is a persona poem titled Lady Eboshi Addresses Song. Watch closely. This is how you kill a god. How to bring empire to its knees, make it pay for each wound your people has worn in its name. Yes, your people are your people, even if they're not human at all. Listen, I want to have nothing to do with men. At night, I watch women sweat rooms into smoke, build a factory from gunfire. I'm the trespasser bucking against the forest's speckled dark. My lips stained the same shade as your shame. I know what hate does to you, how to leave everything behind and grow knives for teeth instead of going home. Remember, you can't trust men, even one who says he'll die for you. I've never killed a man who didn't try to kill me first. Never slashed a hillside for pleasure, only to feed my family. My matriarchy making kin work from sex work, bodies weaponed into worship. What morning brings? A freshly pet deer, not yet blue, still bleeding at the neck. Bullet pierced clean through the flesh. Nomenclature decides the difference between predator or parasite, woman or wolf. In both our languages, Man and monster are two names for the same catastrophe. No gods, no masters, no good in making amends to names. Mononoke, make me like you, beloved by something so soft, so feral, it still bears its teeth after flood, that even when beheaded, still wants me dead. So I just have one more poem left, and I think, things have been heavy lately, thinking about folks and how to thinking about folks all across the world who are resisting empire and colonial struggle. And so I wrote this poem over a year ago, not thinking that it would feel so relevant in this moment, but it does, and so I will read it tonight. And it's after Gwendolyn Brooks, her line, "Graves grow no green that you can use." Excuse me, let me find the actual line.
Moral so respectful.
So it is Gwendolyn Brooks's "To the Young Who Want to Die," which ends with the lines, "Graves grow no green that you can use. Remember, green's your color, you are spring." Green sickness, after Gwendolyn Brooks. My wild grief didn't know where to end. Everywhere I looked, a field alive and unburied. Whole swaths of green swallowed the light. All around me, the field was growing. I grew out my hair in every direction. Let the sun freckle my face. Even in the greenest depths, I crouched towards the light. That summer, everything grew so alive and so alone. A world hushed in green. Wildest grief grew inside out. I crawled to the field's edge, bruises blooming in every crevice of my palms. I didn't know I'd reached the shoreline till I felt it there. A salt wind lifted the hair from my neck. At the edge of every green lies the ocean. When I saw that blue, I knew then this world will end. Grief is not the only geography I know. Every wound closes. Repair comes with sweetness, comes spring. Every empire will fall. I must believe this. I felt it somewhere in the field. My ancestors murmuring, go home, soon, soon. No country wants me back anymore, and I'm okay. If grief is love with nowhere to go, then oh, I've loved so immensely. That summer, everything I touched was green. All bruises will fade from green and blue to skin. Let me grow through this green and not drown in it. Let me be lawless and beloved, ungovernable and unafraid. Let me be brave enough to live here. Let me be precise in my actions. Let me feel hurt. I know I can heal. Let me try again, again, and again. Thank you.
Come on.
Y'all heard the poet say, "Let me be lawless."
Yes.
I kind of want us to do something that I always admire Laura for, which is, really make us lean in, feel the word. Can we just whisper "lawless" on three? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Good. We applaud the poet because they're out here teaching us how to learn, how to get activated, how to read our friends' poems, how to call our reps, how to stop ships in the port, to stop weapons from ever arriving. And trust that it is all good and necessary in the face of genocide, y'all. And I know it's a huge commitment of the work of the poet who we're going to be bringing up next. And I'm so excited to introduce them. But before that, I want to also encourage everyone in the space, get activated, the best ways you know how. And I also want to shout out our DJ TT, who's got one small way that you can get activated today. If you're interested, they're actually selling prints for Palestine, where 100% of the proceeds are going to the Palestinian Children's Relief Fund. So make sure to tap in with DJ TT. If you got some coin you want to go ahead and spend that way and bring a dope print home. Are y'all ready for our feature for today? Like our final poet? It's such an honor to introduce them. What? Before I read the bio, just a little memory, like from a few years ago when I got to coach them on one of their youth poetry slam teams. I'll never forget working with Cianga. We were at the Berkeley Public Library, and when we were lucky, we got to have a little bit of one-on-one time. And I remember, like during those practices, how we write about family and religion and migration with so much clarity and precision in their voice, and how they reach to express these things, that our hearts whisper, and our hearts shout for. And just never forget, not just their attention and care as a writer, but also as a collaborator. And I think that the poets on this mic are a reflection of that. The lineages that they just big up and pass on and evolve, and what a joy to get to witness that over time. Before I read the bio, I just want to say that we are so proud of you, Cianga.
Yeah.
And here's the bio. Cianga, pronouns they and she, is a Congolese artist based in California by way of South Africa. Winner of the 2023 Evaristo Prize and finalist of the Sillerman International Prize, Cianga creates interdisciplinary work that seeks to decolonize and disrupt language. While currently, we talking about it. While currently an MFA candidate, they have received residency and fellowship support from Cave Canem, UC Berkeley's Arts and Research Center, Brooklyn Poets, and the Atlantic Center for the Arts. Their work can be found in Foglifter Journal, Rappahannock Review, EcoTheo Review, and elsewhere. They write, they draw, they compose, and perform with the belief of Black art as radical joy and critical protest. Make some noise for Cianga!
Thank you. This means so much to me because writing this, really this book started from a meme, really, and you can believe it. A little moment shared in the group chat between my family and I. It was those rats that they tried to send to space in Congo, and we're like, what? It was on the news, and this was the fifth attempt. And it's like, what? And the more it sat with me, I was just thinking about how important it was for those folks to try and reach the heavens, the sky, and what it meant to them. Whether they had the means or not, they gathered together like a village of folks just trying to make something meaningful. And thank you. Now we're all here, so thank you so much for being here. I'm going to read a couple poems. So ideally, there was like a little link that people could have been submitting like questions throughout the night. But I think I'm just gonna, I think the space is like intimate enough that I'll just hear questions. So in between poems, I'll just be like, you got a question? And then be like, hey, yo, just to keep us moving. So thank you for being with me. Alrighty, I got pop. They are somewhere that I
You were live through. I'm just kidding. No.
I'm not my pocket.
Right.
my Foglifter, especially Alice was able to like help me. I drew the cover, but like she put it together. If you can't tell, I say a lot of thank yous, so avoid the spotlight. But first poem I will read is called Etymology of Names. Okay. 1. Before democracy, there was a river, single stream. Before deer tongues. Before nomad fish frenzy. Before the land splits coltan regions and wept. Before the river sought its name and found its bleeding, not unlike a mangosteen. Black and red, yet white. Before all swallows learned to yawn their beaks along water too pacific to fight, this river suffered the fate all bodies of liquid fear, being classed and named and used. 2. Stubbornness is a Congolese mother, sun iron skin, Liputa securing her young death grip across her heart as she bargains a street vendor bankrupt. Loud eyes trained on all things fufu in potential. Her wary talons grip forcefully enough to hold a splitting world, collapsing sun. Decaying me, she unravels her stance. Zaire, a gluttonous Congo, a country of oblique heads, a belly everyone has robbed at least once. 3. My name is after God, a warning, sharper than the first footfalls of men who vowed their God, concealed between hilt and blade, was singing over them. Their pockets of songs faded beneath the equator's callous sun, just as those men chose a pet name for a country. My mother chose a name that daggers my tongue, gills my arms, webs my feet, that among all the binding names I must carry, I may breathe and swim and hunt. I figured I could talk a little bit about the poems because you're not going to get that experience with me. So that poem, my family can agree on like how they came up with my name Gracia, but that was me trying to figure out like what my name means and where it came from and blah blah blah. Everyone said like one brother says he named me, the other brother says I don't know. But tracing names and lineages was where it came. I'll read one more poem and then I'll take 2 questions. This is called The Anger of Man. Know yourself, lest you, chicken, believe your wings are for flying. When skin shreds co-pay letters, my teeth break down my fists. This diaspora makes a superhero of my tongue. Woe is my mother. Video chats cost bloody cobalt. I spit a new world when she calls. I name the ocean between us a child. Capricious. We must learn to discipline our rage. No one says, I'm so angry I could kiss you, but I am. So angry it's melancholic. To bandage a tongue, sharpen a feather as one would a machete. Forget a blade can be windborne. Believe each call is a fight, and all we have left. Thank you. Yeah, that poem was after the phrase like no ethical consumption under capitalism, and I was just like grappling with that, like I'm fighting, but also like the same phone I'm calling my mom with has cobalt, like it's a feeling. So yeah, they'll there'll probably be more. Does anyone have like questions they could shout out and then I will answer?
Who loved you into being?
Wow, that's real. Everybody. Yeah, so much I think of existence is like across time. Like there's affirming moments that I'm here because previous folks were able to sacrifice for me to be here, but I'm also like, shout out to my dad, shout out to my mom. They both, they have their own story of how they came together, but I'd say I'm a product of all the people who've poured into me. If you are in conversation with me, you know that I'm hard to reach. Like I disappear like once a year, that's real. So everyone reminds me to come back, and this has been all the poets you saw today. I was like, if no one shows up but the poet, like the people who are reading and the poet, like my family, I'll be happy. And there's so much more, so I'm grateful. So yeah, everyone. One more question before I read the next poem.
How did you know the book was done?
How did I know the book was done? I didn't. So, fun fact, this was actually titled Her Weary Talent, which was from the first poem I read. And shout out to Foglifter, because after I won the prize, I was like, actually, what if it was a different title? And they were like, yep. And I was like, actually, what if I like take out a couple poems and like, so there's a poem I'll read that was in here that wasn't originally made it. So how I felt it end was the deadline. Shout out to deadlines. You can get a writer.
Shout out.
Sometimes that's what you need. Based on the answer, I'll actually read one poem that didn't make it into. It's a very short poem. I thought it was more poems about food, and I thought I was going to have a whole section about food. So this is about steak. Steak is best when it melts in your mouth. Magic. The best parts of us are finite. Sometimes a stupid brain can fool a nation into believing they are endless on earth. Well, we don't even chew that long. The best food disappears fast. Magic. Everything that comes must go. And everything that has gone even once is golden to someone. And the next poem I'll take, and then I'll take two more questions, is I originally wanted, there was going to be a drummer and it fell through, but when you read the poem, you'll realize like there's a bunch of like markings and you're like, what? So it's sheet music. I tried to like invent this sheet music thing. Wow. Shout out to Atlantic Center for the Arts. I met up with a drummer and we were just kind of like brainstorming the piece together. I will post it on one of the socials, like the rough draft of it, so y'all can still experience it, hopefully. So bear with me. It's a long piece, it's a heavy piece, but I think it's the centerpiece for me in the book. Yeah. One more note. Do people remember when monoliths started appearing around the world? Yeah. For context, like, there's these like tall things that would appear around the world. So when I reference the monolith, that's that thing. We burned ours within like a day. Let's be real. February 17, 2021, a monolith appeared in Kinshasa, Congo. Silver metal, reflective, tall, as if it could reach God. Want is a terrifying verb. We only knew need. Clawed grip, dagger nails, slow crawl across crimson soil. There's a rhythm to survival. Tempo in the snapback, rock tongue, bang head, swing airborne, slam soil, halt. The monolith asked us a cruel song. Burn or pray, despair or fold, and yell, weak grip, yell and yell, my lord, the voice box is so well protected, it dies last. Burn or pray, 15 million spirits, not while bursting arson, for those 15 million Zaire became a battleground of prayers to flesh and teeth and uniforms, Lord, to pray to the sole of a shoe, to sing while your country is ablaze. The voice box is so well protected, it outlives the spirit. How else would he, my brother, work a piano like it's made of 15 million notes? How terrifying. A man can kill a body, but not erase a song from bloodlines. Not sure why. Not sure anyone chooses to be alive the way they need to breathe. Gulp air and mold and gas cold time in pace of air to need air yet beg, oh Lord, this burning, this survival outlives the tallest clap. How music had no fury, like a C-sharp minor sung by a band of warriors defending their wants in tempo. So surely this desire unsheathes a machete. To want a home, unbloody, unbodied, I want and want and want. With dagger nails, I want and want and want. And so I burn the monolith and its maker and spit a fire.
What's the poem you're still learning to write?
The poem I'm still learning to write. That's so real. I'm writing a poem because I don't know how to grieve. And I think I've voiced this to Laurel. The last poem they read, I read it to myself sometimes at night because it helps me process things. So I'm writing a poem on how to grieve. And part of it is anger, and like the anger poem I think is a snapshot of that, but I really don't know how to grieve in context of everything happening. To like grieve but not be in despair. To grieve and know that there is more coming. To grieve and know that other people are grieving too, so there's like that communal thing going on. So I don't know, and when I don't know, I just read. So shout out to all the poets who are like writing, and I'm learning for them. So yeah, there's a grieving poem that lives in my body that I don't know how to write about. That's real. And if you have poems in your body that you don't know how to write, I made a course based on the book. Really shout out to Youth Speaks and all the information I've had in terms of holding space, but I've been having conversations with folks and they're like, I don't know how to introduce like heavy topics in my classrooms or in my spaces, and I made that course. It's 4 weeks, and it's free, so feel free to like take a writing prompt and run with it, or just don't take it, I don't know. But
Certain files left you the link.
where is the course? Where's the course? It's in my website, so cianga.com, so it's just my name, cianga.com, and then it's a website, and there's a course. It's a great course. Yeah, so hopefully, that's helpful, at least for someone. Another question, yes.
So word on the street is you're a multidisciplinary artist that can speak multiple languages and play the piano, and you sometimes stream and you draw. So yeah, I was just wondering if you could talk a little bit about the cover.
Right.
Because that's a beautiful cover. I also heard you drew the cover.
Right. So that's me when I was a kid. Yeah. I had stickers of this cover that I'm selling. It's gonna come out at some point. I have them, but will y'all have them? I don't know. reminded was, oftentimes if you just search up like African child on your phone, you'll get those pictures of like them staring at the camera, and it's usually not the most flattering thing. So I was like, how can I twist that image? So I took a picture of me as a kid, and then just with the stars and with the dress that's all colored. I think in the original picture I'm holding bread, but it didn't fit. So I try to maintain that gaze that's looking to your soul, but it's not looking to your soul to ask you something. It's looking to yourself and asking you to ask yourself something. Something about the gaze in art, just looking. So hopefully people like it, and I'm glad it sounds like it's a good one.
Love it.
Okay. I will read a couple more poems, and then, oh my god, I'm sorry, this is like me live flipping through my notes. I'll read 2 more poems, and then take a couple questions, and then see how I am on time. This poem's called New Gen African. Growing pains is telling my African father I want snake bites. His eyes widen and foam over our rabid lineage, slamming itself hurt over piercing metal. Is fatherhood an exercise in ambivalence? To watch a child become a name you did not give them. To muffle an ancestor in the name of love. To watch your creation shed parts of you while blooming. Get them, he says. Won't look me in the eyes. It's hard to say poems and my dad's here. I couldn't, so it's just there. This is the title poem, Congressman from the Heavens. Foglifter is the name of the rap. I have so much love for the rap. The first Congolese to board a space shuttle is a rat. I unfold, saliva teeth, gnaw at their flag skin, floss with the fat. I swelter, rabies love. Homeland's got no food, yet I fly. I devour the sky. From the troposphere, every human is a rodent. I, rats, pray. For my freedom warriors, more bone than muscle, I ascend. Poverty's defiance. Already love, I split the sun. And I just love that's like an act of defiance against that. Like, I can still eat steak, I can still try to send something to the moon, like, yeah, so I love that one so much, and I love, hopefully they try to send more. I think they try to send one more after, but I'm keeping up to date. We're up, that was like Troposphere, that's the name of the seat, Troposphere 5, and then I think they're at Troposphere 6, so I'll keep y'all up to date. I think I have room for a couple more questions.
What's a song that always gets you to dance?
A song that always gets me to dance? I'm going to flip it back to you. So Yamalia is actually a musician on like all the platforms. And they have a song called Aang, like after the Lost Airbender. And that song, yes. That's on my playlist. I'm probably your like top 0.1% listener. One more question, and then I will do a tiny poem, and I'll get off stage because we got me out.
What's your favorite part of your creative process?
My favorite part of my creative process is hearing how once said. It was like something like, if I'm writing a poem that my grandmother doesn't understand, what am I doing? So that's a check for me. If I'm writing a poem that I cannot invite my friends, my family to, what am I doing? So that's good. I just looked at the time, and I know we have to be out here at 8:30 sharp. So I was gonna revamp this surprise thing. If you're cool with it,
Are you
have to like run off stage real quick. And now, like,
You want to do it?
yeah.
Can we clap it up for Cianga as if that was her last poem? And, we've been asking questions. A question for y'all audience. Would y'all be down for one more poem? Yeah! I heard if we make a lot of noise, then maybe Cianga will come back for an encore. This is the last poem. The poem is actually a story. And this story takes us back to 2002. We Congolese begin a war against our blood. An expert, pale as bone, haunts over the podium to say, we did this to ourselves, that we are first a slave to our rage. It is 2002.
We, Oakland, side-eye America, internalize our alphabet like social security number. A, assassination. B, bombing. C, cry over your collapsed city.
I will one day keep my tea next to kitchen knives. I will one day protest in fistfuls of tea. But it's 2002, and Mac Dre just dropped an album, so we fizzle our burning to a slumber. It's 2035.
Oakland don't cha-cha slide no more. The internet is still looking for Amelia Earhart and seems to have forgotten our names.
I have run out of words to describe loss. All my metaphors are out of lives. Class of 2035 has their graduation at a protest. Class of 2035 theorizes that blues music is a protest song. Class of 2035 redefines allyship by proximity top that. Those with trust funds and escape routes out this country are front lines. I don't know how we'll make it out this one, but I know it will probably involve a dance. I know the first protest was rhythmic. I know the echo of gumboots to be an army of hearts fighting to stay on tempo. I know my brother cooks the meanest tiramisu in town.
I know the one thing that brings my family together is food.
I know that the music that plays all the while he stirs the cream.
I know to feed a village, you wake up with the sun.
I know that even the stove buzzes a dance.
I know kitchen floors as dance floors.
I know no one with at least a little rhythm will get out. It's 2017. Get Out just came out, and all black horror movie nerds flocked to the theater like, finally, an end to all the whitest of decisions.
Like that going in the basement alone shit.
Who seriously melanated would think, is that a suspiciously large shadow, almost like a being with a chainsaw walking towards me? Why don't I check that out?
Alone.
Like in real life, we don't die like that.
In real life,
When you enter a house full of white people in your own energy on your own time that no one is paying you for,
get out.
it's 2018 and Black Panther is out. The student union paid us to have the blackest experience. We, a sea of dark, definitely not hiding snacks under every fold of clothing, pull up to Jack London.
And when the screen finally reads,
Oakland,
the crowd erupts like,
it's 2017 again.
and we write a poem called Black Joy because we need one. And the story behind that is, people like to say you can only define something by its opposite. But joy should not come from an obituary. A smile should not be cause of death. And the story begins sometime after the world ends. There are no funerals here. No one dies. No one is allowed to die.
If the world must end, then a new one must take its place. And I'd like to imagine the blackest of beginnings. Michael Jackson, Left Eye, Prince, Pac, Aaliyah, Big, Billie Holiday, Tammy Terrell are all set to drop an album at midnight. Kinky curls on the face of every billboard. Melanin-filled bodies are allowed to be synonymous with happiness. A hologram flickers, a memory. Before this apocalypse, in 3000,
someone darker than me finds the archive. Darker meaning shade of hours under the sun. Of Jim Crow minstrelsy. Darker meaning in elementary school my shade wasn't in the crown box. Archive meaning a poetry channel that survived the Great Robot Rebellion or a Great War. Footage of a poetry slam where all the black poets write poems where the thesis is, stop killing us. And there they will write papers and tell their friends and show them how people across the world said this. In a time when violence paid the light bills, government sent an invoice. I cannot tell you what map brought us here, but it must be the many survivals we used as a compass that steered the boat, that cooked the beans, that washed the rice, that braised the oxtail, that drove miles away to make culture from a dollar store discount. Back in 2023, the dollar store announces its near bankruptcy. My EBT card got discontinued for a reason I don't understand. I still keep my tea next to kitchen knives. I protest in fistfuls of teeth. I write a book I know won't survive an apocalypse, but we know bloodlines that will. We have traveled across time to tell you this. It's 2023, and we woke up this morning a blessing. Look at the sun dance on our melanin. Wonder at the roots of our hair. Think, how can anything be so damn durable? My skin sings hope, my being sings joy. So tell us, how many oceans did you swim to get here today? How many of us artists, culture bearers, Bay Area fam, grassroots baddies, thrift store icons, how many bridges linked to bring you here today? Look down at the piece of paper you wrote on. Combine the two answers. This is now one of your names. How many names did it take for you to get here? We have crossed time to tell you this. The future is finite without you. You are so precious, the heavens spotlight your existence. The earth fights to keep you alive. We have seen you. We have seen your name. We've said it, and someone years from now will say it again. There are no funerals here. No one dies. No one is allowed to die. Not as long as their name lives.
Also, if you didn't know, Foglifter is also accepting donations and submissions for the A Riot Prize right now. So if you too want to get your chapbook published, hit that thing up. Hit up the website, find more info, and also, yeah, y'all, be out here in the community, be a menace to colonization, y'all. Please, y'all have a good night. Is there any other announcements we need to make? Friends? We love you too. All right, y'all, have a good night, and I say peace.
Yeah.